What's going on, everybody? David here, back with another live stream. Guys, let me know how the audio sounds because I was having a few issues earlier, so just let me know if everything sounds okay. Obviously, I'm not using the same mic that I usually use, so let me know if there are any issues with audio. I'll have to try to work on that as we get through this live stream here. But yeah, so we are here in another set that I have now. I still have the old set. This is just something new that I put together for my other channel. So Creator Visuals. I'm going to start doing a lot of live streams on that channel as well as so I do one a week on this channel. I'm going to start doing some more on that channel too. Audio is flat. It's flat. What does that mean, Tim? What is flat? Um, let's see. I'm gonna switch out just a little bit to see. Audio isn't crispy. Yeah, there might be some issues with it. It's probably not going to sound the same that it does normally because I have that other mic. So this is just a lav mic, so it's a little bit different. That mic is will pick up a lot more. But let me flip over to this mic here. Okay, does that sound any different? Let me know if that sounds any different. It's probably a lot lower. It looks like it's a little bit lower. But yeah, let me know if that sounds any different. If not, then I'll just go back to the other one. Looks like some people are saying that it's fine. But anyway, yeah, so this is the new set. And let me know how you guys like it. Let me know if there's, obviously, I'm a traveler. I like to travel, so I want to have a map pretty much in all of my little setups. I just it's good to have maps around the house, really, because you're always looking at different places. You're always thinking about different things, different places to travel to, and so that's a good thing. So that's one of the reasons I like to have maps. Anyway, we're going to talk today. Today is a good topic because we're going to talk about just credit cards and spending and spending patterns and how there are a lot of arguments, or there are a lot of people that put out arguments. Dave Ramsey's one that puts out an argument. Well, if you're using credit cards, you're going to spend more, so you shouldn't use credit cards. You should only use cash. Even though he admits to using debit cards, debit card's not a credit card, but it's still the same. Uh, it's plastic, right? It's not actual cash. And his big argument is that cash is we we don't like to be separated from our cash. So when we're giving away cash, we really realize how much money it is that we're giving away. Which, to be honest, I agree with that. I mean, I agree to an extent that yes, if I have cash and I'm giving away cash, I think more about it. But I think it's a mindset too. I think when it comes down to credit cards and spending, it's a mindset. Where's your mind at? How do you plan on paying it back? So we're going to talk a little bit about that, and I'm going to start doing these live streams are going to be more of a discussion instead of me just telling you, "Hey, look at the new greatest credit, the latest greatest credit card," and pulling it up and talking about the credit cards. I want to talk more about just theories and just how we think about what we're doing. There was a real good, what's the guy's name? Prince of Travel. He just put out a, let's see if I can find it just so I can post a link. Really good video that he put out. I think maybe it was a couple of days ago, and he just talked about the I won't say, yeah, the negatives of using points, because it's not all glamorous, right? I mean, there are a lot of different things that I know now, and I'm able to do a lot more with my credit cards. But or as far as travel, I'm able to do a lot more. But there are some downsides to getting points, earning points. So it's not all glamorous, and I think we and when I need to grow my business, I use Fiverr. Sorry about that. And I know that I talk all about the positives. Oh, you can go here, you can fly business class, you can fly first class, and it'll cost you, I always, oh, it'll cost you $80 to fly to Colombia, and I'm posting all this stuff. And that's the good side, that's the glamorous side. But there are some downsides to earning points and getting credit cards and keeping everything together. So I want to talk a little bit about that too at the end. We'll talk a little bit about that. We're going to go on for about an hour today, And I want to talk more about that kind of stuff in the live streams and just open up a discussion. Then we can all start talking about different things and put in our, put our opinions out there. We all know the different credit cards, right? A credit card comes out, and the reason I'm going to this now, this kind of a platform, or this kind of platform, I guess. The reason I'm doing this now, as opposed to just talking about the credit cards, we all know about the credit cards. If you're anyone that's serious about travel credit cards, the latest credit card comes out, you know about it. You've already looked at Doctor of Credit. You've already looked at the website. When the Amex Green came out, everyone knew about it. When Chase Sapphire Reserve came out, everyone knew about it, and they all looked at all the specs. So we kind of know about that. We will still discuss things like what are they offering and things like that. Maybe we'll talk about that stuff too. But I want to talk a lot about just the what's really going on when it comes to travel credit cards and points and all that good stuff. All right, so we're gonna do shout outs in a second. So just let me know you're here just by saying what's up. So if you guys just say what's up, give me a thumbs up, give me something in the chat. That way I can give you give you a shout out there. And like I said, looks like people are saying the audio sounds with noise. Okay, yeah, there's probably some noise in there too. um, and eventually, what I'll do with this setup is I will get one of the mics, mics like I have over here. And part of what I'm doing now, and the reason why I wanted to use this set, is because I want to be able to listen to the sound and listen to everything. So I'll have a better idea of, hey, is everything okay for me to move forward with this setup? It takes a little while to get everything set up, and even today I had to use a different laptop. I was using my other laptop. I tried to hook up this one, and this laptop's louder. It has a loud fan, so that's probably going to be in the video too. So we'll just work on it. We'll keep working on it. Okay, yeah, Hard Truths. So Wayne's saying the Hard Truths. That's what it's called. So I posted a link so you guys can check that out. Don't check it out right this second, but go over there after we're done talking and just listen to some of the stuff some of the points that he raised. He raised some really good points about travel credit cards, and I'll, like I said, I will talk about a little bit of my thoughts, but yeah, I just wanted to kind of put that out there to people who are beginners, people who are just starting out getting travel credit cards, and even people who have gotten a few travel credit cards and they're all excited about it. There's some things that you need to know and you need to think about prior to really jumping in, right? So, okay, let's go ahead and do some shout outs, and then we're going to talk a little bit about spending, and I will pull up the article and we'll kind of look at that. All right, so we have David in the building. What's going on, David? Good to see you. And before I get all into this, let me do something. I want to make sure that our bot works. So I will close out a poll and open up a poll. Hopefully that will work. I just want to make sure the bot's going to start working because I have been having some issues with that, and I want you guys to get your points. I do have some points to give, and Mr. Chocolatazo is going to get some points, and David's going to get some points as well. If you guys participate in the comments, then I will give you points. Depending on, like, if I tell you, hey, go to this this video and leave some comments, then I will give you points for that. But let's see here if I can do not a giveaway, but let's see about the polls. Yeah, let's just start a random poll. Okay, so we're going to start this poll here, and so that should be. We should see something coming up. Okay, I just want to get that bot active. Once it gets active, then it usually will work. So that's a poll there. If you guys want to participate in that poll, we've done that poll before, but I didn't set up a new one. So, okay. So shout outs, Wayne, what's going on? Thank you for stopping by. Brian, how you doing? Henry, what's going on? Good to see you. Amadou, what's going on, buddy? Good to see you, man. Tim Williams, what's up? What's going on? Janelle, how you doing? And so Janelle, where's Lyndon, Janelle? So Janelle and Lyndon, they have a channel, How to Get an 800 Credit Score. You guys want to check them out. They have some really good information on how to improve your credit. So if you guys are beginners and you're thinking about getting travel credit cards, your credit's going to need to be at least 700. High sixes, sevens for sure is where you need to be. especially if you want to get one of the higher end credit cards like the Chase Sapphire Reserve. You're probably going to want to be about 730 or above. They teach you how to build your credit. So they do live streams on Wednesday at 8:15 Central Time. So check them out. They have some really good content over there. Okay, let's go ahead, and I always lose my place every time I start talking. But that's okay. Ralph, what's going on? Good to see you. Jessica, how you doing? Pink Lady, what's going on, Pink Lady? Let's see. Move on down. Hip, what's going on, Hip? How you doing, buddy? And let's see. Set looks the same as Wiseflies. Really? Wiseflies? He's doing a lot of videos outdoors, so I don't know. I can't remember what his set used to look like. Actually, I think he uses a green screen, so this is an actual set. But the last time that I saw a video of him indoors, it was a green screen. So, but yeah, I guess thank you. I'm not copying him if that's what you're saying. But I think this set looks more like my old set. It's not really that much different. There's not that much difference, I should say. But okay, let's go ahead and move on here. Nika, what's going on, Nika? I haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you. Good to see you, Nika. Okay. And we're down. Okay, we got the stream bot going. Darren, what's going on, Darren? Good to see you, buddy. Dolly, how you doing, Dolly? Good to see you, Dolly. And Mr. Jobless, what's going on? Jobless? Does that mean you're jobless, or is that okay? Joe Hill Experience, what's going on, buddy? All right. Okay, guys, so anyone else in the room, just let me know you're here just by saying what's up, and I will add those points. What has to happen is, and this is something I didn't plan in advance, I can't add points until you've until you've received some points. So I can't just log you in and give you points. So once Mr. Chocolatazo comes on, he earns some points, and I can add points. So David's in here right now. He'll earn some points. As soon as he earns points, then I can add points to his account. Okay, and so for those of you who don't know, all you need to do is participate. If you participate in comments on videos that we put out, if you participate, then I will. If I notice you from the live stream and you've made a comment on one of my videos, I will give you points. Okay. The way that you'll know is I'll put a little. I'll like the comment, and I'll put the love comment thing, so that way you'll know. Okay, he's recognized, and he'll give me some points for that. Okay, so all right, let's go ahead and talk about our topic. So we're talking about spending, okay, and using credit cards. Do you spend more? And I say yes. Yeah, I would agree with that. You do spend more, but I think it's your mindset. So I think for the most part, and I'll talk about how I used to be, and I'll talk about how I am now, because now I don't spend more. But in the past, yes, I spent more by using credit cards. And my whole thought, and even debit cards is kind of the same way. But with credit cards, my whole thought was, and this is in the past, this is not now. Now I pay my credit cards off every month in full. I never carry a balance. In the past, I carried a balance. And because I was carrying a balance, yes, I would think, okay, yeah, I could spend a little more this month because I can pay it off over time, right? And so I think that's the main reason why when they do studies and stuff like this, that's what comes up. Because people are thinking that way. It's kind of like when I don't even know if they still do layaway, but back in the day when I was a kid, you could go to Sears or go to some of these other stores, Jimco. I don't know if you guys remember Jimco and Fedco. You can go to these places and you can do layaway. So you can pay a little bit now, and then over time you just keep paying on it, and then you can go pick up your item once you've paid it off. So I think a lot of what people are doing now with credit cards, if they're paying it over time, yeah, they're looking at that big screen TV and they're thinking, wow, I can't afford that. It's $1,000, but you know what? I can afford it. If I break it into 3 installments, I can afford it, right? So I think that's what kind of skews these stats, because if you're in the mindset of paying it off every month, you don't spend extra. Like with my credit cards now, I don't spend extra. I'm paying it off every month. So I'm always thinking, okay, I'm making these purchases, but I have to pay them off every month. So there's no like, oh, you know what? I'll pay most of it and then pay a little bit later. No, no, no. I don't do that at all. So if I can't afford it, if it's not, if the cash is not in my bank account, then I'm not using that credit card to make that purchase. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. Period. So when they do these studies, it's based on a lot of people who carry over their debt, and they carry it over into the next month or what have you, and it makes sense. It does make sense, and so I do agree with that. But I think we need to change the way that we think about, or the way we make payments. And if we're paying off every month, I'm telling you, I'm always thinking about how much money is in my bank account. When I had a debit card, it was a little different. I wasn't always thinking about how much money was in my bank account. I was just kind of spending, spending, spending. Then I check my bank account maybe once every 2 weeks. Oh, I still have money in there? Okay, spend, spend, spend. So now I'm even more in tune when it comes down to how much money I actually have in my account. Another thing too with debit cards. Debit cards they're kind of the same way in the sense that, let's say you get paid in a couple of days, and you know that if you make a purchase with a debit card, it's not going to hit your account for another couple of days. I think I haven't used my debit card so long, but I remember back in the day, like if you charged it instead of, like if you used it as a credit instead of using it as your regular debit, then it wouldn't come out right away. Or it could be the night before you get paid, and then you spend it and that kind of stuff. Or you have money in your. It's just there's just so many different things, so many different variables. But I will. Back when I was using my debit card, yeah, I would spend more than I normally would spend, because especially if I had money in my savings, I was already thinking about, okay, well, yeah, I can afford to pay this now, and if I do fall short by the end of the month, I'll just take money out of my savings. That's the way I was kind of thinking. So there's some truth to that, but I want to know what you guys think about paying your credit cards off every month. Do you feel that you're spending more? Because I actually think now I spend less than I used to when I was using my debit cards. Cash is not really something that I do very often. I very rarely use cash, and I think we're kind of all in that same. Well, not all. I can't speak for everyone, but I think the the movement is away from cash and into credit cards, debit cards, phones. Right now, everyone's using their phone to make payments too. So we're moving away. And credit card companies are smart. Banks are smart. These cell phone apps now, they're smart. They realize that you will spend more in most situations. You're going to spend more if you're using these platforms. So that's why they're moving to those platforms more. But you just need to be disciplined, okay? And that's the way I am now. I'm very, very disciplined, because I know I mean, what do they say? Half the battle is knowing is half the battle, or whatever. So if you know that you're liable to spend more if you're using your credit card, then don't spend more, right? And I know it's kind of like, oh, well, that's easy. But if you know if you know that you're susceptible of doing that, then don't do it. And think about it when you're. And one of the things they were talking about, tips. Usually, you tip more if you use your credit card, which I don't really know if that's true, because I've been in situations when I'm tipping with a credit card, or even a debit card. But when I'm tipping, I can tip exact. So I can to the like, when you go to a restaurant, a lot of times now they give you the receipt, and at the bottom of the receipt it'll say 15% is this much, 20% is this much, 25% is this much. You can do it exact. So if I want to do exactly 15%, I can do exactly 15%. If I'm using cash, a lot of times I'm not going to break it down to the cents, right? I'm just going to get, if it's $9.52 for the tip, I'm just going to put a $10 bill down there. So in actuality, that kind of works, using cash kind of works the other way when it comes to certain things like that. But they use tips as an example. So when you fill out your thing at the end of your meal, usually people will tip higher if they're using their credit card compared to using cash. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about that. But I do kind of think, yeah, I can do it exact. So it makes it a little bit. I'm a little more precise when I use my credit card. So I might be spending less in that situation. But yeah, so that's kind of what I wanted to talk about when it comes to that decisions or decisions. What am I saying? When it comes to your credit cards, do you spend more? I find that I don't. In the past I did, but now there's no. I'm thinking about it. I'm going to make those payments. So I want to know what you guys think about that, and then I also want to talk. And I guess we'll just talk about it now. I was going to wait to the end. There's no reason to wait to the end, so we can talk about it now. When it comes to the the good and the bad. Oh, we got a super chat. Thank you very much, Lennon, for the super chat, man. Thank you very much. What's up, champ? Showing some love. Yeah, man. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. So, and I talked about how to get an 800 credit score. Go over to his channel. They have some really good content over there to build your credit, and check out their live streams too. So, if you have questions, the beauty of having live of doing live streams is if you have questions, you can ask us questions. Okay, and that brings me to, if you want to ask any questions, just put at TEC, and I will be more than happy to address those questions. And understand this too, and this is something that I was thinking about a couple of days ago. I always look, when you start doing YouTube videos, one of the things that you always do is look at your stats, your analytics. That's like the big thing, because we don't know where to go with our videos. We don't know what titles people are gonna like, what videos people are gonna like, the format people are gonna like, the visuals that people are gonna like. We don't know any of that. I mean, it's there's no recipe for YouTube, and so we get a lot of feedback from you guys, as well as from the analytics. So the stuff that's shown, live streams for my channel, live streams don't do well for me as far as momentum. And momentum is a big thing when it comes to YouTube. They like for you to put out a video, it gets a lot of views, and then put another video out right after that that gets a lot of views, and just snowballs like that. But if you put out a video that gets a lot of views, and you put out another video that gets a lot of views, and then you put out a video that doesn't get a lot of views, well, then YouTube will start pulling back, and they won't promote your stuff as much. My live streams, they don't get a lot of views. They're longer ended, and that's why I try to make them 1 hour, no more than 1 hour now. But even with it 1 hour, they don't get a lot of views. So the reason that I'm telling you guys this is because I come on here because I want to talk with you guys about stuff. That's the reason. Like I want to learn from you guys. I want to share my experiences with you guys. That's why I come on. So the live streams are for the community, and not just for me to talk with you guys, but for you guys to talk with each other and learn. So that's, just understand, and with Lyndon and everyone, pretty much most people can tell you when they do their live streams, usually if they put out a video, a regular video, they get a better response than if they put out a live stream. It's a lot of work, and it takes it takes away from uh, the momentum of YouTube, I guess. I don't know. Oh God. Okay. So I went off on a tangent there. Janelle, thank you for the super chat, Janelle. So Janelle and Lyndon, so they are a couple, and they both have that how to get an 800 credit score. So go ahead and check them out. Let's smash the thumbs up. Yes, give the video a like, guys. We're at about 19 likes, 30 people in the building. So if you guys can hit the like button, that really helps out. That will help out as far as after the video has been released, after the live stream. It does help out to get more people in the room. Okay, so the other thing I wanted to talk about, and I posted the link to Prince of Travel, the video that he put out. Go check that video out. I think it's really good, and he brought up some really good points about what you don't hear about. And I'm guilty, because I talk about all the positives. I talk about very few negatives when it comes to earning points and getting credit cards. One of the negatives we just talked about right now, you tend to spend more, right? So if you spend more and then you don't pay your credit cards off every month, in you're gonna be hurting. So that's one of the things that you really need to focus on. That can be a negative. You can really go into debt with credit cards, and travel credit cards are even worse than a regular credit card, in the sense that the earn possibility, or I'm sorry, the earn possibility, in the sense that travel credit card, the interest rates are a lot higher. So if you don't pay it off every month, you're going to be paying a lot back over time in interest. So some of the other things that I want to talk about too, the flexibility. And I don't think people really realize until they start booking using points how flexible you have to be. Unless you're using the travel portal, you can use a travel portal. You don't have to be as flexible. And when I say the travel portal, like Chase has a travel portal, you just go on there and you can put in the information when you want to fly out, all that good stuff. Usually you're going to use more points in order to book that though. But if you want to transfer your points to these different transfer partners, like United, I'm talking about Chase, but United and Hyatt and all these different partners, you have to be flexible, especially if it's with the airfare. But actually, let's talk about hotel fare first, because Hyatt is not, and you guys know I love Hyatt, right? And they just made they're going to be making some changes in March. I haven't done that video yet. I need to get on that. I'll do that tomorrow. But I love Hyatt, but there are times where I will look on a night, certain night that I want to book. Like when I was in Colombia a couple months ago, I wanted to book a couple free nights, and I couldn't do it because they weren't offering free nights at that time. So that you have to be flexible, and sometimes you're not able to use points for certain reasons, or free nights. Like you'll get the free nights. Those are the ones that really bother me. And actually, it wasn't points. I was able to use points if I wanted to use points for that to stay in when I was in Bogota, but I wanted a free nights. I had free night that was going to just expire, and I ended up having to just stay a night away after I got back home, just stay a night away just because I didn't want it to expire and not use it. But the that's something you have to be flexible with, because you're not always going to be able to get to use those free nights or use the little benefits that they give you. So it could be a free night or club access or what have you with Hyatt. But with airfare, it's even worse, because with airfare you're gonna you're usually gonna have a layover somewhere. Usually, when you're booking using points, you're gonna have a layover somewhere. So you have to kind of work. Like I'll give you an example, and this makes no sense, but I had to do it because I'm using points. And if I were booking if I was just booking it using cash, I would have never done this. But I had to do it because I'm using points. So I booked my flight to Colombia. I'm going back to Colombia for Carnival, and that'll be in February. So February 21st is the first day of Carnival. I wanted to get there the day before, so I wanted to get there February 20th. So I look on the I transferred my points from the Chase program over to United. So I have my points in United. I'm going to be flying on Avianca, okay? Because United and Avianca, they're partners, so they will allow you to fly using United points. So I get on United's website. I'm looking for the information for the different flights. What do you know? I can't fly out on the 20th. There's nothing available for. I was looking business class, so there's nothing available business class. There's stuff available economy, but those economy seats they just bump the price, or not the price. They bump the points up, so it's 50,000 points instead of the normal 20,000. So I'm not going to pay 50,000 points or use 50,000 points to fly economy when I can fly business class for 35,000 points. But business class wasn't available, right? So now I have to fly in a day early. So that means now I have to stay an extra day in Colombia, which I haven't even set that up yet. I'm gonna have to get another hotel room or get something because I have to stay that extra day. So anyway, I have to do that. Now, flying back, basically, for whatever reason, I could not get a flight from Bogota to just no layover. If I'm flying from Bogota back to the U.S., I had to do a layover in, I think it was in Cancun, 13 hours. And honestly, on my way home, I'm just ready to go home. I really have no interest to go to Cancun again. I just don't. I would rather just get home. I don't want to have to do a 13-hour layover. And then what am I going to do for the 13 hours? I'll probably have to go get a hotel room somewhere. And I really don't want to just stay in the airport that whole time. So that was the only thing that was available. From Bogota, that was the only thing that was available. So what I had to do is I had to fly to what I did is I did a stopover. So, or actually, I did an open jaw and a stopover. So let me just go over the whole thing so you guys understand what I'm saying. So I'm flying out to Barranquilla on the 19th. So I'll fly out there. I'll be there. It'll be an overnight flight. So I'll get there on the 20th. I'll be in Bogota on the or I'm sorry, I'll be in Barranquilla on the 20th, and then I have it's open from that point until I believe like the last weekend. So March 6th. I think March 6th is a Friday. So March 6th, then I have a flight from Bogota, right? So I fly into Barranquilla, but I do an open jaw. So open jaw basically means that I'm flying into one airport and I'm leaving out of another airport. And so that's what I did. So I flew into Barranquilla and I'll be flying out of Bogota, but I'll be flying but I did a stopover because, like I told you, I couldn't fly directly from Bogota to Los Angeles. I had to fly into Mexico, or I had to fly into, I think the other one was Panama or something like that, or no, El Salvador or something like that. So I didn't want to do a long layover in one of those places. So I said, okay, you know what? I'll spend my last weekend in Cartagena. So all I need to do is get to Bogota by the 6th, by March 6th, and then I'll fly over to Cartagena. I'll spend a few days in Cartagena, and then from there, then I'll fly back to Bogota because I'm flying from Cartagena to Los Angeles. But when I fly from when I'm get on the flight from Cartagena, I have to go back to Bogota and spend 13 hours in Bogota. So there's a 13-hour layover. I could not avoid it. All the different flights out, I could not avoid it. So now I have to spend 13 hours in Bogota, which isn't as bad because I have friends in Bogota, so I can go and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to crash out for 7 hours at your place and then get back to the airport and then fly home. So you have to be flexible and you have to know that stuff happens. When I went to Thailand, similar situation. On my flight back, I couldn't get the flight back the way that I wanted. First off, I had to use points for business flight, but it was a mixed cabin. So I got two of my flights were business class, and then the long haul flight, the 10-hour flight, was not business class. It was economy, which, oh God, it was bad. But that flight, or I'm sorry, right before that flight, when I got to China, so I flew into China, I had an 8-hour layover. So couldn't avoid it. 8-hour layover. There was nothing else available for using points, and so I just stayed in the airport. I really didn't have like I could have left and gone into China, and maybe gone and got something to eat or what have you. But I've never been to China before. I was a little skeptical. They give you like this, you have to have a visa in order to go into China. But they give you like a 24-hour, as long as you show a flight that's leaving within 24 hours, and they'll allow you to come into the country. So I could have, but I just didn't, and so I just stayed there and ended up sleeping in the lounge, and then getting on a plane, a 10-hour flight. So it's just you have to be flexible, and you will understand when you start booking these flights that yeah, when you're using points, it's not going to be you'll be able to fly business class, first class. You'll have experiences that you probably wouldn't normally have, good experiences that you probably normally wouldn't have. But you do have to do these layovers, and I don't mind it so much now that I'm using that I have like lounge access and different things like that. So it's not that bad. Like I couldn't imagine in the past. I couldn't imagine booking a flight and saying, wow, I have an 8-hour layover. What am I going to do for that 8 hours? That was tough being in a lounge for 8 hours, but I can imagine if it's just like a regular terminal, didn't have any, and like I have to go and buy food. I don't know. I mean, first world problems, I get it. But it's one of those deals you do need to be very, very flexible when it comes to bookings or using points. So that's one of the downfalls. And you will, I'm telling you, you will learn, and it will get frustrating. And especially like I said, the hotel stays, they get frustrated. When I get these free hotel, the free nights, and then they're not allowing me to use the free night at whatever hotel it is, that gets that gets to me. And it's like, oh my God, I gotta pay cash, or I have to use points when I have a free night, and that free night's gonna expire, and all this and that. And Hyatt has a thing too where I'm an explorer, so I'm not at the top level. The top level, you automatically get club access, and club access is more. It's kind of like a lounge at the hotel where you can go and relax. You get free drinks, and they have snacks usually there, breakfast, that kind of stuff. So if you're an explorer, you get these passes. You don't get it. It's not unlimited. You don't get it every time that you book a hotel stay, but you get these passes. And so I would get passes, like 4 passes a year, and I couldn't use them. And that became so frustrating. It's like, because you would call them up and say, "Hey, I have a free pass. I wanted to use it at this hotel, at this stay. Oh, we're overbooked that night. We can't allow you to use it." And it's just like, come on. So you do have to be very, very flexible. And I think that's the downside of using points. All right, so let's see. I talked a lot. I apologize for all the talking. We're gonna look at some of the questions in the comments, and if you guys have any questions for me, just put at TEC, and I'll make sure to answer those questions for you guys. And hope everybody's having a good Sunday. We're gonna start doing live streams on Sunday, so I've made that decision now. I've kind of been thinking, oh, Saturday, Sunday, Saturday, Sunday. Now, you know what? We're gonna do it on Sundays from now on. So 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's when we'll be going on Sunday. I just have a lot less that I do on Sunday than on Saturday. Usually Saturday I'm running around, but Sunday just works out better. Let's see. Okay, guys. So if you have any questions, I'm gonna go ahead and skim through the questions here in the comments. And if you have anything for me, just put at TEC, and I'll make sure to answer those questions for you guys. Jobless. They're talking about jobless. That's a funny name there. Okay. Another thing too, guys. If you guys don't know, I'm on TikTok now. So I decided to get on there. I've been on there for about probably about 3 weeks. So it should be at Travel Explore Click. I don't know how to really search things on TikTok. I don't know if you guys get on TikTok. I know it's for the younger generation. But how do things work usually, right? Facebook was for the younger generation. MySpace was my generation, and usually the adults get in there. So um, that will happen. Usually, the younger crowd is, they're the ones that they're out there first, and then the adults get in there, and then the young kids will move on to something else. So I want to get in early, so that's why we got into TikTok. I like the platform. I actually really like it. I like the it's kind of, I guess it's kind of like Instagram, but I like the way the platform is set up, and music. I like listening to music and stuff like that. So I kind of like how that whole thing is set up. So follow me on, yeah, it's follow. Yeah, follow me on TikTok at Travel Explore Click, and I don't have any followers yet. I have like maybe 12 followers right now. So I'm gonna try to build that up, and I'll be talking about different things, just more. It's not like the one thing I like about TikTok is it's not. I don't have to have like a professional setup. I don't know. I feel, and this is just maybe yeah, it is just me. I feel like, oh, I need to have it look good if I'm gonna have it on YouTube. Or, and this is kind of funny because YouTube used to be, it wasn't like that, but you do see people really trying to have something that looks professional. So TikTok is the opposite of that. It's just like pull your camera up and start talking, and start singing, lip syncing, and all that stuff. So it's a lot less professional. So I like that because I can just get on and just talk about whatever. And I could be in my car talking about, hey, and all this stuff. So okay, let's see. Hip saying, "Oh my God, layaway, you're dating yourself." Yeah, layaway. You guys remember layaway? It probably still exists. I'm sure it still. Well, does it? I don't know. I think it still exists. Good old layaway. Man, I'm telling you, I used to go to Fedco and Costco. We have Costco, but Fedco and Gymco back in the day, man. Those places were. And I remember I used to always go to Fedco, and I remember that smell, that popcorn smell. Every time you go to Fedco, they had popcorn. They're making popcorn. You could smell it, and that was back when you used to get the video rental places were, it was a video VHS, and that's when VHS was like big. And so I used to go to Fedco with my mom, and we'd go to the movie section and get movies and stuff. Okay, let's see here. All right, guys. Yeah, please hit that like button, guys. Let's see if we can get up to 40 likes on the video. That way we can really promote this out after the fact. Like I said, I really love doing live streams, and I want to improve on live streams as far as the content and all that. So I do need your help when it comes to that. So let me know what you guys think, different topics and things like that. But I do want to make it more of a discussion. Like I put out something and you guys talk about your experience. It just makes it something more than just me talking about my experience. So we can kind of share different experiences. So, all right, let's see. Okay. Let's see. I use my debit card only for cash withdrawals. Period. So that's Amadou. Yeah, I agree, man. Um, I don't use my debit card at all. Like now, if I travel, yes. I mean, even now, I very rarely need. I mean, I never need to get cash out. Like when I'm in the states. Usually, I mean, there are very rare circumstances where I'll need to get cash out. I usually have cash. Like if I do get cash, let's say we go to a restaurant and I take I pay for the bill with my credit card, and then I take cash from everyone. I'll keep cash like that, and I'll kind of just store it away or just keep it in my little wallet. But I very rarely will go to the bank and get cash. I just don't. Like I don't really have a need to. Everywhere you go, you can use a debit card or a credit card. So I'm always using my credit card. Okay. And Seven said, if you don't have money, don't buy anything you don't need. Yes, that is that is. It's easier said than done, but yes, I think if you have the right mindset when you get that credit card and you start thinking, okay, I'm paying this off every month no matter what. If you think like that, then you're not going to overspend with your credit card because you're always going to be thinking about, oh, I can't spend this because I have to pay it off every month. But the danger of credit cards is we always think like, oh, I can just pay it off over time, and that's what will get you into debt. Okay. David's asking a good question. Anybody going on vacation for Christmas? I wanted to go, and you guys know what I'm gonna say already, but I wanted to go to to Colombia for Christmas. Not for actual Christmas. I was gonna spend Christmas with my family, but go there around this time because they have light shows, and they're supposed to be like some of the nicest shows on Earth in Colombia. So I wanted to go, but it was just so expensive. And like I said, you have to be flexible. I couldn't use any points to go. It just wasn't worth it. So I mean, it was like business class was like 90,000 points one way. So yeah, that wasn't gonna work. Okay, let's see, Sierra. What's going on, Sierra? Thank you for stopping by. But using my credit card has me spending a heck a lot less than me using my debit card. Cool, cool. I don't know if you wrote something earlier or if you were answering someone's question, but yeah, I don't know. It depends on the people. It depends on your what you're thinking about when you're using those credit cards. Let's see. David, David Amex. I don't know if you're talking to David Amex or you're talking to me, Amadou, but you're asking about military. If I'm in the military, I'm not. Let's see. Okay. Explore Informed, what link are you asking about there? Yeah, I didn't see that. I don't read all the questions, guys. I'm sorry. So, or all the chat. So sometimes I miss stuff. But if you can elaborate on what link you're asking about, maybe I can help you out with it. Okay. Explore Informed, I agree. Flexibility definitely running into the challenges is life gets busier, children, school, etc. Yeah, and that's a good point exploring form. If you have points, if you're like earn points and you have a family, like it's just me. I'm single, so I can be very flexible. As far as is only thing I have to worry about is work. So if I can work it around that, then I'm fine. But if you have a family and you have to book not just for you but for your family, that can really get you really have to be flexible and you have to be able to work it out in such a way that it makes sense. So that's yeah that's one of those deals where I don't know how some people do it. Like Wisefly is a good example. He has a family and a wife, two kids, and they're all traveling using points. And I can only imagine how crazy that is just to try to get that get all that stuff working. And I'm sure he's probably using points and he's using some cash too. He's not able to just do it all on points. So yeah, and then just the sheer number of points that you have to use in order to do that. I mean, you have to have a significant other that is in the same game, right? In order to use enough, like 70,000 points to fly to Colombia business class round trip, but times two, 140,000. If it's just you that's earning points, that's a lot, and that's just one trip, and that's not including your hotel stays or anything like that. Yeah, it's a lot. When I went to Thailand, I spent about 120,000 points for business class round trip on two different air. Actually, it was 130,000 on two different. Oh, it was 120,000 on two different airlines. So I used to fly up. I used United, the Polaris business class. That was 70,000, and then on my way back, I used 50,000 from Alaska Airlines, and I flew on Hanan Air. Excellent airline, excellent airline. But I flew on them back, so 50,000, and it was mixed cabin, so it was business class, two of the legs, and then one leg was economy. Okay. Janelle saying that Lyndon hasn't been feeling good. Listen to the live stream. All right. Hopefully you feel better, man. Feel better. I know it's cold out there in South Dakota. I think you said you're in South Dakota. Let's see. So are you rethinking of getting the JetBlue card? That's Alex asking that. No, I'm not rethinking it at all. I'm in a lull right now. I'm not getting any cards right now. I'm working on a few things. I think you guys know that I'm working on my whole business thing, getting my business legitimate, and that's holding me back. And then as far as getting a loan too, I want to get a loan, so that's holding me back too. The the business aspects, if I can get, and I already have an LLC, I already got that all signed up. But once I get that going, I can get a lot of credit cards through that LLC. So I will probably hold off and wait until I get that situated, and then there's some cards that I can get with just the LLC. So we're in a standby right now. Okay, but yeah, JetBlue, I'm very interested in getting that card still. Okay, Chase King, what's going on, Chase King? How you doing? Let's see. Okay. Oh, the video about down. Okay, so Explorer Forum. Let's see. I think I still have the link here. I believe that is it, and that is Prince of Travel. So if that's not the right link, go to Prince of Travel, and you'll see the video there. It's the last video that he put out. Let's see. Hip saying you go to Colombia so much, I'm sure the feds are watching. Nah, 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 nah. They're not watching me. I really enjoy going to Colombia, and that's one of the things. Like people think, oh, Colombia has so much to offer, and there's a lot of different things. Like their number one export is first it's flowers, as actually it's flowers and coffee, So it's not what you think, right? Like people think, oh, the number one export. I know what that is, but no, it's not. So there's a lot of things about Colombia that are a lot of misconceptions when it comes to Colombia. And Colombia is, they're a partner of the U.S., so it doesn't raise the red flags that it might have raised in the past as far as traveling, as far as traveling to Colombia. Chase King, you obviously haven't figured out it's all a joke. Yeah, Chase King and Amex King. All right, let's see. Samuel saying, I think if playing the credit card game with family, I think first thing is to create a budget on on a shared platform like Mint.com. That way, all your expenses get tracked in one place. Yeah, that is, and that's another one of the down or the negatives of credit cards. The fact that you have to organize everything. You have to be very organized if you get a lot of cards. I have 8 cards right now. I use I use probably 3 to 4 of them every month. So there are cards that I don't use at all. But I keep them because, well, one of them I have points on. I need to do something with the card. Actually, I don't have points on that card. The points are in, it's the Advantage card. So I still have that card. I need to downgrade that card. The Chase Sapphire Preferred, I still have that card. I'm not using it, but I'm getting referral links on the card, so that's the only reason that I'm keeping it at this point. And what are the other cards I have? I have the United Explorer card, the business version. I do not use that card. The only time I'll use it is when I'm traveling. If I'm flying on United, I will use it to book my flight because I get the free check bag and the priority boarding. So that's one of the cards that I never use. I don't use it on a day to day. It's not a good card for earn. So it's just it's just not a good card. I got it only because of the free check bags and the priority boarding. Two things that I really value. So that's the reason that I got that card. And then what's the other one? The World of Hyatt card I use on from time to time. I'll use that card. I don't use it very often, but you get the free night, and so that's the reason I have it. And then if I'm staying at Hyatt properties, I'm getting 9 points for every dollar spent on property, and that includes restaurants. So that's the reason I use that card. But the other cards I use, but you have to keep track of them, right? You got to know when it's time to make the payments and all that. So there's a lot of time that we take away from our normal lives in order to make these points work. So that's something else. That's another thing. We spend a lot of time doing research. A lot of you guys are watching my live stream right now. I mean, there's so much stuff going on that you're spending a lot of time from away from your family and learning about points. So there is a trade-off. There definitely is a trade-off. MS King's asking about what kind of loan am I getting? Mortgage. Let's see. You can get the Amex Platinum Business Card, 100,000 sign-up bonus. That's Seven saying that. I am interested in doing that. Yes. So I don't know. Like I've never got like a you know I got Cakeology walking me through the steps, but I've always had a sole proprietorship with my photography business. I've never had like an LLC, and so I'm just learning all the different things that it entails, in as far as how to establish your credit and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know how far I can take that as far as when I can get the Amex Platinum, but it would make sense, right? Because you get the Amex Platinum on a business card, then it becomes a tax write-off, and things like that. So yeah, it's definitely something that I have my eye on, especially American Express, because I know you guys give me a hard time. You never get American Express cards. You never talk about those cards. Well, that is the plan, to get some of those cards. It's good to get the Amex Platinum as a business card, because if I do that, then I can always, at some point, if I want to cancel it, I can cancel it. It's not going to affect my personal credit. So that's one of the things. The American Express Platinum, I think, is a good card, but if I am not traveling, it doesn't make sense to keep it. It really doesn't, because I'm not going to be able to get all the benefits out of that card. Let's see. Amadou saying that Colombia is safer since the rebels stopped their fight. Yeah, that peace treaty that they, and I don't know if they've backed away from the peace treaty. I know there's some stuff that was going on lately. And there was some protests going on. Those protests had nothing to do with the rebels, but yeah, it's a Colombia is a very safe place, in my opinion, and that's why I do like to go there. It's safe and it's very reasonable. And that's why it's one of my favorite destinations, and that's why I keep going back. And plus, I want to start doing business there, so that's the next move for me. Um, and I've been talking to some people, and I definitely want to do some business out there. I'll talk to you guys about the business stuff later, but that is something that if you guys ever go to Colombia, I can help you guys. So we'll talk about that later once I finalize some stuff. Okay. Let's see. Hip is saying that I have 18 credits. I saw your other comment, but and that's not even in Colombia anyway. That's like in Afghanistan or something. But second comment here, let's say I have 18 credit cards in total, and I have to remember to use them periodically. It's tedious, and that's Hip saying that. Yeah, it becomes tedious, and yeah, you do have to think. Like I have the Advantage card, the City Advantage card. I have to think. Oh, you know what? Every couple of months, I need to at least put something on that card just so they won't close that card out. So you have to think along those lines. You can't just not use the card because then they'll cancel the card on you. So you don't want that to happen. So yes, you have to be very organized, very organized. Okay, okay. Let's see. All right, David. Let's see. Once you get one business platinum, they might invite you for a second one too. I'm applying for my second one in the morning. Cool, cool. I didn't know that. So if you get one, they might invite you to it for a second one. Uh, yeah, and if you have more than one business, you can get one for each business too, if they're all LLCs. One thing I didn't know about California, getting an LLC in California, you have to pay $800 a year just to have an LLC. And I did the worst thing because I got it at the wrong time. I got it at the end of the year. So guess what? I got to pay $800 and then $800 now. And then in April 15th of 2020, I have to pay another $800. So yeah, it's crazy. So know what you're doing when you're starting to get an LLC. Make sure you do your research and know that yeah, there's state fees, and that state fee is every year. And this is just California. So other states, you have different criteria. Let's see. Samuel's saying one way to keep a lot of cards active if you have regularly used Amazon. I have heard of that before. So Amazon account. Once in a while, refill your Amazon gift card credit. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Um, so buying gift cards basically on Amazon, and that way you're keeping those cards active. Habadu saying, TEC, you are obviously in love with Colombia, or I'm in love with what's in Colombia. Yeah, let's see. Okay, just skimming through everything. Pink Lady said my filing fee is $25. Wow. So filing fee for California is 75 bucks, and then every year is $800. Wow. And Life for Business is saying it will be more than 800 April 16th. Yes, it will be because they'll charge you a late fee. Yeah, I'm learning. I'm learning. And Abadu's talking about Mint. Now, I have not used Mint before. That's something that maybe I'll look into. You know what? I don't have any problems with the cards that I have now as far as making payments because I have pretty much all Chase cards, so they're all in one account. So all I need to do is sign into one account. I have pretty much all of my cards there, and I don't use the other cards that aren't in the cards that aren't on there. I don't use. So the City Advantage card, I don't use that card. So that's yeah, it's not a problem. And then the other cards that I have, I just have like Wells Fargo, some rewards card, but it's not the Propel card, which maybe I should look into that. And then I have another City card, a City Sears card that I've had like since I was in college, and I'm gonna look to see what I can do with that card too, because I might be able to do a product change and get something else. See if there's anything available with that is comparable or whatever. It's like a no annual fee card, but see if I can get something else like the City Double Cash card. That would be nice. So I am going to look into that. Plus, I mean, Sears. Let's face it, Sears is they're going out of business. Like they keep closing stores, so they're not even. I don't use the card, but I'm just saying that would be a reason why I would call them and say, "Hey, you guys are like closing. Give me another card." Uh, see, state tax and federal tax at TEC. I use Quicken Books for Business. I don't know. I don't even know how to use that stuff. I need to learn how to do that too. There's a lot of stuff I need to learn. But I'm excited because I'm in a situation where I can retire in 3.5 years, and so if I have a business going, it's going good, going strong, then yeah, it'll be a lot easier to make that move and just move into business um, and go on with life. But let's see. Abadu said, "Do you use a Ward wallet?" No, I do not. Yeah, I use both Mint and a Ward wallet. That's Samuel saying that. Annual fee is $25 also. Wow, where are you? Where do you live, Pink Lady? What state are you living in? Malik, what's going on? Let's see. Do credit cards you get through LLCs and S corps count against Chase 524 rule? Do they affect your credit utilization or your personal credit? Now, if you have an LLC, it should not affect your personal credit. And the credit cards that you'll be getting are business cards. So even as a sole proprietor, like the business credit cards that I get now, that I've gotten now, the Chase Ink Cash, the Chase Ink Unlimited, the Chase Ink Business Preferred, they do not count towards 524. The only thing is if I have cards already and I'm already over 524 or I'm at 524, I can't get these new business cards, but they're not going to add to my 524. So the answer to your question is no. But if you have a business, you're only going to be getting business cards. You're not going to get personal cards. The benefit of having an LLC or an S corp is it is its own entity. So when I'm getting these credit cards, I'm going to be responsible and pay them off, and of course I want to keep my business running. But it is not tied to my personal wealth or my personal business or my personal account, my personal credit or anything like that. So if the business does go under, it's not going to affect me personally. Let's see. Any other questions, guys? Okay, and then Life for Business is saying that Capital One and one more bank affects your personal utilization account business cards. And I don't know how that would work. I don't know how it would work as far as if you do have an LLC and you apply for like a Spark card or one of the business cards with Capital One. Oh, here we go, right here. Julio saying, my Capital One Spark Miles card does show up in my personal credit. Okay, okay. And I would imagine you have a LLC, Julio. There are a couple of business card issuers that do count towards 524. I think Capital One reports to personal credit report, but Chase, Amex, and B of A, U.S. Bank don't count towards 524. Okay, very good information. Thank you, Samuel. All right, guys. Any other questions? And please, guys, if you're in here and you have not hit the like button, please do that, please, so we can get get this promoted out. They promote it for usually about 24 hours, 24 to 48 hours after we're done. So it will help more people see that we're doing a live stream. So that will work out good because I really want to get more people knowing that I do live streams. And so the more likes, the better when it comes down to that. All right. Anything else? We'll be on for about another 5 minutes. So if you guys have any questions, any last minute questions, go ahead and put them out there. Any comments, go ahead and put it out there. And like I said, I hope you guys like this new little setup here. I do have another camera now too, and this is one of the things. Now I'm gonna really get this set up. This is just a webcam, but I will get I want to use another camera. You know me, I get all crazy with this stuff. But so I have this view here. So if I want to do like in this channel, like I said, this channel is for Creator Visual. So my channel that talks about camera equipment and basically how to make YouTube sets and all this stuff. So technical aspects of YouTube as far as making videos. So this is an Osmo Pocket, but I have like this setup now where I can talk about something. I can have it up here and you guys can see it, and then I can pull it down here, give you guys a close-up view of the actually what I'm talking about. So I have this camera. The plan is to have one overhead too, so facing down, and that way you guys can see what I'm seeing and what I'm using. So yeah, I just wanted to show you guys that. And there's a new little setup too that I need to look into, but it will allow me to use not as many, up to 4 different cameras. So that will really be nice once that gets once I figure out more about that. I'm looking into purchasing that too. So all for you guys, just try to make it a little more interesting. One of the things, and another thing too, that with that camera view is I want to start doing like unboxings too. So I can do a live unboxing, and I think live unboxings would be amazing because I'm opening it up in front of you guys. If you guys have questions, hey, how does this work? What does this look like? Where is this? All that stuff. We can all discuss it while I'm opening it up in front of you. So I think that would be pretty interesting. Okay, any other questions, guys? I'll look through here real quick. Let's see. TEC hoping retiring soon. Congratulations on 3.5 years. Yeah, yeah. Basically, I'd be getting a pension. So the the way it works is at 50 plus. At 50, I can retire. So because of that, in 3.5 years, I'll be at that point where I can retire with 20 years in, and you make a certain amount. Now, if you work longer, you can make even more. But my plan is to try to get a business going, consulting business that deals with video production and this kind of stuff. I really like doing this kind of stuff. So providing services for businesses who are interested in creating live streams or shooting YouTube videos, or not, I say YouTube, but just any video period, and then also doing tours. So photography is like that's like my passion. I've always loved photography, and I shoot professionally now. I shoot weddings, but one of the things I really like doing is doing like going out and taking pictures in different countries. That's what got me traveling. That's what got me into the whole points thing. Prior to that, I wasn't even thinking about traveling. Like I travel every once in a while. I go on my thing was cruises. You go on a cruise, right? Because you're on the boat and then you just get out and you go and you party for a few hours and then you jump back on the boat. And so there's no real. You're not fully immersed in another country, but you get a little piece. You get a little taste of these different countries. So I like doing that in the past, but now like I love going to other countries and just being fully immersed in the culture and the language. Even though I don't speak Spanish very well, I still like being there and learning and just it's one of those deals where it's a challenge. It's a challenge. You're just like you're dropped into another country and you have to figure out how to eat and you got to figure out all these things on your own. And so, and when I say that, I mean like the challenges of just the language and things like that. It just makes it exciting. So I like that. Plus, you get out of your comfort zone. So we're all like, I'm comfortable living in the U.S. I know how things work. I know what this means. I know what that means. Then you go to different countries and you start seeing that things are different. like like when I was in Paris, that was one of the things. Like you go to a grocery store and they don't have like grocery carts like we have, like the big baskets that we push around. They have these little, and actually in Colombia it's the same way. They have these little. It's almost like the little baskets that you carry, but it has little wheels on it, kind of like not even the. I was gonna say like luggage wheels, not even that nice. Like they're even cheaper than that because it's like all plastic. And it's these little carts, and you just push them around. Like you don't have the big baskets and stuff like that. So just different things like that you learn, and then you see different things going on. And you're like, okay, I guess this means that, and um, I don't know. It's just the challenge of going to different countries is really exciting to me. And so, yeah, I don't even know where I was going with that, but let's see. We got any other questions here? Save me, save me. Explorer Forum said, found out today Streamlabs only runs on PC, not Mac, which is a problem for me. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's open source. You know how Mac, you know how Apple is when it comes to anything that's open source. They get they don't want they don't want open source. So yeah, that's unfortunate. Streamlabs is great, but I say that but they do have some problems. Like it's a great platform when it works, but when you start having some issues, it really gets. Like today, I had issues. I couldn't sign in on my other computer for whatever reason. It wasn't letting me sign in. It was saying there's some security issues or whatever. I went through all the different steps that they told me, and there were still problems. So yeah, and so now I have to reach out to them and find out, hey, what's going on? This thing was working a couple of days ago. Now it's not working. So you do run into problems like that. But Streamlabs as a setup, you guys can see like it looks professional in my opinion. Okay, what I'm gonna do, guys, just so you know, I'm gonna be jumping over to my other channel, and I'll be doing that probably at 8:30. If everything goes well, I'll do it at 8:30. I'm gonna jump over there. I'm gonna be on live for maybe about 30 minutes, 35 minutes. I'm just gonna go over the reason that I think the Osmo Pocket is the best camera uh, for for vlogging and for YouTube videos. Period. I think this is the best. If you're just starting out, this is the camera to get. It does so much that it's an all-in-one camera basically. So we're gonna jump over there at 8:30. So in about 15 minutes, I'm just gonna switch out everything, and then we'll come back. I want to start doing live streams on a regular basis there. So if you guys have a YouTube channel or if you guys are interested in shooting video, then you're gonna want to jump over there and hear what I have to say about the Osmo Pocket. Okay, let's see. Pink Lady saying interesting point of view. Thank you. Yeah, I loved. Like I said, traveling is just it's really opened me up. And I remember when I first got back from Paris. Paris was my first solo trip outside of the country. The other trip that I did solo was Puerto Rico, but the first trip outside of the country was Paris, and I felt so good after getting home. Like I felt like, wow, I actually did it. Like I went to another country and didn't know the language, and I had a great time. Like I absolutely loved it in Paris for photography. Like I did my own thing. I was out every day. I was using the subway system. I was doing all this stuff that I thought like, wow, how do you do this? Like I don't even use the subway. We don't really have a subway in LA. Like I live in Orange County anyway. So there's no subway out here, but in LA they have the little the metro stuff. But I don't really have experience using the subway, but I was fine when I was in Paris. I was able to jump on the subway. I used it I was there for 5 days, but I used it every day, and I was going all over the city. So it's just I don't know. I think it's one of those things that just really gives you confidence that you can survive in another country without knowing the language or anything like that. All right, let's see here. Thank you for subscribing, Hamilton. Thank you very much. Let's see. Okay, guys, we're gonna go ahead and take off. And like I said, I'm gonna jump over to the other channel. I'll be on there for about 30 minutes, and I will start it at about 8:30. So in about 15 minutes, we're gonna jump over there. We'll talk a little about the Osmo Pocket, and if you guys have any questions about it, how it works, how much it costs, all that good stuff, jump over there. I'll give you guys some really good info about that. All right, so I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for stopping by, and we are out. I don't have my little Stream Deck thing, so I can't. Thanks for watching. Okay, yeah. So, all right, guys, thank you for stopping by. I'll talk to you guys in the next one.